What is up, y'all? Nature Girl 30 here, and here is another mini Q&A for you guys. I actually do still have a lot of questions for those that have not, sent. Well, actually, for those that actually sent me more than one question, well, more than 5 questions, I still have your questions to do, and there's a few of y'all. So let's get started with this. My first set of questions actually comes from NJ. I'm gonna finish out his other 5 because he sent me 10. His first question for me is this: who is your worst wrestler or 2 within the WWE right now, and why? Of course, it's the New Day. I can't stand the New Day. They're a big, huge walking stereotype, and they drive me insane. So, of course, I really don't like them. I don't think I ever will like them, and I hope that they just go away. I don't really have a second one that I don't like at this very moment, but the New Day by far is top on the list. But great question, man. If you could meet any wrestler or female wrestler on any on the TV or on any TV wrestling company, who would it be and why? Female wrestlers for me, I would love to meet Charlotte, and of course I would love to meet the Nature Boy. The Nature Boy is always behind the scenes watching Charlotte on and rooting her on. I would definitely love to meet the Flair family. They just seem like they're really cool people. So those are the 2 individuals that I would love to meet. And I love Charlotte's style. I always emphasize how much I love Charlotte. So I would love to meet her as well as her dad. Awesome. With Cena and Orton, multiple time world champion, who in the main event or mid card would you have them face to put over? I guess you probably said that as a joke. Randy Orton is not known for putting anybody over, but John Cena has, and I'll give some credit where credit is due for John Cena. John Cena definitely put over Kevin Owens. He definitely put over Daniel Bryan. But it has to be somebody that John Cena actually believes in and thinks is a capable person to, pass the torch, if you will. I really think that Adrian Neville will probably be the better guy to be put over because he's a great athlete. He literally gave Cena a run for his money. So I have to say Adrian Neville. I know that Adrian Neville actually went against him for the U.S. title. The U.S. title open challenge, and he ended up losing, but he still was a great competitor for Cena. So by all means, I'm gonna actually say Adrian Neville to be the opponent for Cena. As for Orton has too big of an ego to allow himself to put anybody over, so definitely not Orton. I'm not gonna say anything about that. But let's move on from there. Breaking Vince's possible racist ways. Who would you have become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion and why? Okay. I really don't. The only thing I can say is if that person can bring a lot of worth to that title as well as being able to defend it with honor and valor. I definitely would say it'll be high time for Mark Henry to actually be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion because he is pretty much a Grand Slammer. He would be a Grand Slammer if he finally got that belt, and it will be done. It'll be finished for him. So by all means, I'm definitely going to say Mark Henry in this case. As for anyone else, I can't think of anyone else. I don't know about Kofi. I mean, Kofi's overdue to actually have the World Heavyweight Championship. He's overdue for it. He was an IC title holder as well as a tag team title holder. I can't remember if he had the U.S. title or not, but I will say that it would be interesting if Kofi actually did become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. It really would, and it really be interesting to see how he would defend it because the guy is pretty great. He's pretty spry. I mean, he's a great high flyer in the ring, even though he's with the New Day, and that's probably no choice for him. But yeah, I would definitely say Kofi Kingston would be an interesting guy to be able to become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Or shoot, maybe he would have a feud with Seth Rollins for all I know. But that would be interesting. Moving on from there to your final question for me. Retirement matches and opponents for these wrestlers. Kane, Taker, Big Show, Triple H, Cena, Orton, Batista, and Rock. Ooh. Triple H is a tough one because Triple H is extraordinarily picky. He will not face anybody that will not give him a challenge. He's already faced Taker, and he beat Taker, but by an inch of his life. I will have to say him versus Cena. Seriously. Triple H versus Cena. If he loses, then Cena would have to go home. Or if Triple H loses, he would no longer be a wrestler, period. But the thing is that Cena's getting a lot of flack for not being a wrestler at all. What would be a greater match for him to go against Triple H, the cerebral assassin, the guy who is a certified vet that actually did study every single opponent that he's ever wrestled. So honestly, I think him versus Cena would definitely kind of show people that this guy has, this guy has some fight in him. So I think him versus Cena, definitely. For Kane, of course, it has to be Taker. Taker is the Undertaker's brother, but I know that whole Undertaker-Kane thing is pretty much all died off. But I really feel that Taker should be the one to put him to rest. I think Taker should be the one to definitely retire him. But a lot of people will say Big Show. That Big Show should be the one to retire Taker. So honestly, it should be, not Taker, but Kane. But either or, I guess I could probably say that Taker should be the one to retire Kane, and Big Show should retire Taker because, I don't know, Big Show's a great wrestler and all, but he's starting to really slow, his mojo is slowing down. I don't know what to say about it, but it will be kind of interesting to actually see him retire Taker. Batista's already retired. Well, I know The Rock, I don't think anybody can retire The Rock. The Rock's ego's way too big. Orton's ego's way too big. Batista, okay. If there has to be a match, Orton versus The Rock, definitely. Batista versus Ryback, because everybody calls him Ryback Batista anyway. So why not have Batista versus Ryback? And if Ryback wins, that Batista goes home for good. Why not have it like that? But great set of questions, man, definitely. I'm moving on to Nintendo Fanboy 1988 because there's 2 questions left that I did not answer. What did you think of the feud with Doink the Clown versus Crush in 1993? I can barely remember that feud. I seriously can't. I do remember that every promo that Doink had was creepy. Every feud that he had was creepy. And I think I was just focused more on the creep factor than I was with any feud that Doink has been in. The dude will creep you out. And yeah, as for his music, what do you think of his music? It's creepy. By far. Doink the Clown had the most creepiest music on the planet. And no doubt, he scared the ever-loving crap out of me. So yeah, he was just creepy throughout. And I was focused on more of the creep factor than him ever being in a feud. But great question, man. Moving on to Justin's side. There's one question that I did miss. Will you ever see Hogan in a wrestling ring again after this? Honestly, yeah, I do. Hulk Hogan's a legend, whether you like it or not. There has been a lot of things that have been said, and a lot of people don't really care. Not anymore. But I really do see that he's going to get back in the ring if he really wants to, but he's too broken up. Seriously, he really is too broken up and busted up to even be considered to go back in the ring. His hip is badly jacked up, so no. But as for that being what will keep him out, no, I don't think that'll be the case. I think it's just his health. Moving on from there to Music Harmony. Are you offended by what Hogan said since you're black? No, I'm not, because for crying out loud, all of us know in WWE history they've known to say the most outrageous of outrageous things. Nothing really offends me much anymore, and if it does, it's not that big of a deal. But it's just a lot of stuff that really doesn't offend me. It doesn't bother me. It really don't. But if he said those things, then I know that he's sorry for it, because it is definitely destroying his career. That some black people aren't mad at all for what Hogan said. I'm not really surprised. There was a lot of people that weren't angry when it came to what's her face, that chick what's her name? That chick that cooked things. I'm sorry, I can't even remember her name right now. But a lot of people didn't really care about all the things that she said. I mean, I consider her just being old. That's just me. But moving on from there, do you think there would be a living hell right now? I mean, everybody is so afraid of the R word and afraid of being labeled the R word. So, of course, they're going to turn on somebody who they think is the R word. And it's just stupid. It really is. But, it's a shame that his life is literally turned upside down because of this. But, great set of questions, man. Moving on to Randy Busetta. I didn't say Ray this time. I caught myself. Randy Busetta. Thoughts on Hogan, and was he right or wrong? He was wrong, but life goes on. I mean, that's how I say about that. Life definitely does go on. Moving on to Final Limits. Speaking of moving on, your question for me, I think I definitely did miss a few of your questions. But I don't think I answered the last one. Piper in his prime versus Ambrose of today. Would you pay money to see that? I probably did answer it, but just in case I didn't, yes, I would definitely see that. And when I consider Piper to be the original Dean Ambrose, yeah, he was definitely the original Dean Ambrose. But moving on from there to Justin Nunn. What? Justin Nunn? Dustin Nunn. I cannot talk today. Do you think Chris Jericho is awesome as a babyface or a heel? Chris Jericho is a very multifaceted character. He's able to be a heel as well as a face. He's able to be endearing as well as condescending. It works really well with him. I mean, by far, he definitely is the greatest in what he does, and he's not lying about that, not in the slightest. So I definitely have a lot of respect for him, but I think he's good at being both. And that's rare. You don't really find someone who's good at being both. And he definitely is. Moving on to Yao Popoka. Thoughts on Smooth McGroove. Smooth McGroove, he's a cool dude. I love his acapella. I think he's awesome. And I haven't really listened to him in a while, but he did a really great chemical plant from Sonic 2, so I really enjoyed that. Would you date him? Probably not, because I don't know the dude. What do you think of the popular gaming YouTuber Alpha Omega Sin? I like him, especially during his retro. I think he has like a retro day or something like that. I haven't seen him in a while, but when I did see it, he actually did some very classic video games, and I consider myself a very retro gal, so it was kind of cool to actually watch him. Actually watch his reviews and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I enjoy watching him. I just don't watch him that often. Moving on from there, does Freddie watch any of your videos, and mainly your Q&As? You need to ask him. And I'm just gonna say this once. You did the same thing with, and I'm not mad, just letting you know for the second time that if you got any other questions to ask any other YouTuber, take it to their Q&A. The same thing with Freddie. If you have anything to ask Freddie actually does have a Q&A coming up. And I don't know whether or not the deadline's already hit, but he will answer your questions. So by all means, send Freddie Thomas something via the CC network. Definitely go to his YouTube page and send him some questions. He will answer you, by all means. But I'm not going to answer that because it should be going to him. Thoughts on James Storm? James Storm is great as a heel. He's actually improved a lot better, in my opinion, as a heel than he has any other time. So, yeah, he's definitely great as a heel. And moving on to my final set of questions, and this is from somebody new. Yay! I am a talking monkey, or I'm a talking monkey, which is funny. What do you think of Rosa Mendez? Rosa Mendez started off to be a huge train wreck, and the fact that she was trying to recover from alcoholism as well as a very abusive fiance, she should not have been on Total Divas that year. She actually did make a brief appearance for a past episode when they went to London. I still consider her, I guess she's getting better. I haven't seen her in a while since Fandango no longer has a valet. I don't know what happened, but you can tell she was drunk on stage. I pray that she'll get better. I pray that she'll heal and improve, become a better wrestler, and not be stuck in the past. But at this moment, yeah, she was considered, in my opinion, somewhat of a train wreck, and it's a shame. But like I said, I really do want her to heal and get better. Thoughts on Jeff Jarrett? Jeff Jarrett was great as a heel. By far, in my opinion, his feud with Chyna was like stellar gold. I love that feud. I mean, that was the point to where Chyna literally hit the peak of her career. And it was so great to see her take the IC title from Jeff Jarrett. It was awesome. And it shows how great of a heel you are when you're rooting for a woman to take the belt off you. Seriously. Because around that time, you probably wouldn't consider rooting for a woman and take the belt off a man, but she definitely did. And more power to her. And that, I was so happy that day. And that shows how great of a heel that Jeff Jarrett really is. If you're that good of a heel to have somebody that you never rooted for, well, I've always rooted for her, but it never expected you to root for that person, you're a great heel. You really are. Have you heard of the black boy who killed himself because he wasn't accepted by society? No, and that's a shame. And unfortunately, that's a lot of it going around. Well, a lot of it going around like a disease. Well, I guess I could say somewhat of it is. It really does make me sad that a lot of people are very self-conscious of who they are. And I mean, coming from someone who used to be, I kind of can understand that. But it does make me sad that that person wanted to be someone else or change something about themselves in order to be accepted. And that does make me sad. But unfortunately, it does happen, and a lot of people feel like they have to change themselves in order to be accepted, and you shouldn't. Because who knows, maybe who you are attracts other people. But a lot of people may not see it that way. And your final question for me is, why are women so obsessed over their weight? Because other people are obsessed. You can't go down the road without somebody looking at you and pointing, or maybe in all the magazines for those who are celebrities, looking at how many pounds you lose and how much you eat. Because people are obsessed with looking perfect. And I hate to break it to you, you can't be perfect. Just accept yourself for who you are. Look in the mirror and be like, you know what? It's all good. I don't care if I am 50 pounds overweight. You know what? I'm beautiful and I'm loved. And I pray that people will one day think that. But guys, that's my Q&A. I thank you so much. If I had camera issues, I am working on that. But either or, guys, thank you so much for watching this Q&A. Thank you for all of your questions. And by all means, continue to send me questions via YouTube or on my Twitter account at RKX30 #NatureGirlQ&A. This is NatureGirl30 signing off. Peace out, guys. Later.